Why haven't the Warriors got a new big fish? The last big trade they made, Kevin Durant. Sure, maybe you say Wiggins, but the last true superstar that come to Golden State, Kevin Durant. Why is that? Well, a new report is coming out. It's a philosophy change inside the Warriors organization, and it's due to one player they traded for to try to make up for Clay's injury when he hurt his Achilles. Who's that player? Kelly Oubre. What's this report say? We're going to break it down on this episode of Warriors Digest. Randy Silver here. In addition, we're going to go over David Bertans. Hey, does he get to come to the Warriors? Is he going to training camp with us? Update from last episode. And a new veteran is being worked out by the Warriors supposedly as well. So a lot to break down here. I know it's been a couple day break. Welcome back. Not trying to give you any BS hypothetical videos. We're sticking to the news on Warriors Digest. I hear your commentary. You want the news. We're staying with the news. Training camp is coming up in the next month. So anything around Warriors World, you're getting it here at Warriors Digest. Like, subscribe, follow Warriors Digest, and we'll give you all the news that you need to know. So the rumor, Davis Bertans won't work out for the Warriors after Dubai contract offer. So reportedly, he was asked to be able to come over the Warriors. Just shy of 7 foot. He's around that 6'10", 6'9", 6'11 range, that little area. 3-point specialist. Not good at defense. Kind of fits what the Warriors do at that position to a degree. Well, he turned down Golden State. According to NBA insider Mark Stein, Bertans made the decision to pass on the addition after receiving a multi-year offer to play professionally in Dubai. The contract offer reportedly includes an out that could allow him to return to the NBA in the future as well. And we heard the same thing about Bruno, the Brazilian, who we brought in to work out, who chose to go play in Spain. No, was it Spain? Europe. We'll say Europe. I think it was Spain or Greece. I should know. I apologize. Long story short, he chose to go play in Europe and has an opportunity to get into the NBA again with an out clause. Bertans doing the same thing here. Again, would he have made a big impact on this team? No, he would have been a mid to back of the bench player, someone who can stretch the floor, fits the Steve Kerr mold of offense of a big man who can bring the ball up the floor, can shoot the three on the transition, pick and pop, but doesn't play solid defense and would be a liability against other big men such as Wemby, Chet, Cat, players like that. So long info here. Let's bring it up. Again, Stein reported they're going to bring him in for a camp, potentially training camp. Did not happen. 6'10", so there you go. From Latvia, has played in the NBA for almost a decade now. Best season, 2019-2020. 15 points, 4 rebounds, almost 4 threes a game. Shooting 43% from the field, 42% behind the arc. So good shooter. But the Warriors, the team, again, we don't have any space for just a player to come in. We're only $500,000 above the salary cap. We have not signed Quinten Post yet. So if we want to sign Quinten Post, and I see the comments, he's a second-round pick. His basic salary for his rookie year needs to be around $1 million, probably, around that area. We cannot sign him because we don't have enough room in our cap space. So we either have to cut a player to make room, or you do a trade that allows you to sign him, or you have to trade away 2 players. Still need to make the money work because we're hard cap, and then you can bring him in. You definitely can bring in Quinten Post for a training camp contract, but you probably want more than that. Or you have to cut a 2-way player. They just signed Beekman, the undrafted rookie. Daquan Plowden coming from Summer League, played really well. Pat Spencer was with us last year. Again, played very well in Summer League as well. So sorry for saying well twice. Very conflicted. I see in the comments which way to go. What's going to happen with Quinten Post? But we know that Bertans is not becoming a Warrior. However, someone else may be. And that could be Troy Brown Jr. Per ESPN's Kendra Andrews. He will be working out for Golden State. He's a free agent. He spent 23-24 with the T-Wolves and the Pistons. Average a little bit over 4 points. 2.5 rebounds in 14 minutes across the season. He's only 25, but has played in 356 NBA games so far. His best year was his sophomore year with the Wizards, where he averaged 10 points a game, almost 6 rebounds, almost 3 assists, and just over 1 steal a game. He's not been anywhere around these stats lately, but he could be a solid addition to the Warriors bench. So what does he bring to the team? Again, small forward. He's 6'7", out of Oregon, was a former first-round pick in 2018. Best season I just shared. You look at his stats across the board. He's bounced around teams: Washington, Chicago, Lakers, Minnesota, and Detroit. Only broke double digits in points that sophomore year. You look at his three-point shooting, 31%. His highest was with the Lakers, 38%, shooting 1 to 4 a game, 3 a game there. You look at his field goal percentage, high mid 40s-ish. And then free throws has gotten much better, but he's not taking that much. So it's a little bit skewed there. Minutes-wise, he's getting in the game. It's not like he's someone who's not playing. If you look at Detroit, I'm going to stand correct. He's not playing a lot of games. His last time he played a significant amount of games was with the Lakers. Started 45 in 2022, 2023. Played 76 past 2 seasons. 2 different teams. He played in 59 games, so maybe just shy of 75% of the games. Not really starting. So what is this 6'7" guy who shoots 30% from 3 basically come for the Warriors at 6'7"? It's not a really good fit here. If you look at the team, it's a Wiggins position, it's a Hield position, it's an Anderson position, it's a Kuminga position, it's a Moody position. I don't see him being a fit. I think they're trying to get people in. Maybe you're pushing your team that you have. Hey, look, we're bringing in. You got to bring your A game to training camp, what you're doing right now. Maybe you want to try them at training camp, see if they deserve a spot, and they can work in for maybe a player that you get out. But I just don't see him being a player that we want. And now the question for the Warriors fans is, why are the Warriors not getting that big fish? So this goes to the main story of the day is they're trying, but the philosophy they're going has changed. So the Warriors, yes, we want to be a top-tier team, but we're not there yet. Mike Dunleavy Jr., our GM, Joe Lacob, the governor, are doing what they can to try to get them back. But 46 months ago, they learned a hard lesson, and that wasn't Mike Dunleavy Jr., that was the other GM, of course, but they learned a hard lesson. And what was that lesson? The acquisition of Kelly Oubre Jr. The year before, the Warriors had one of the worst records in NBA, 15-50. Well, what happened? Steph Curry was hurt. Klay Thompson coming off the torn ACL. Kevin Durant leaves the team. So we got a high draft pick coming in. Steph with the wrist injury will be coming back 2020 season being good. Klay coming back from his ACL injury should be good. Draft a big man. In that draft, you had Wiseman. In that draft, you had LaMelo Ball. Could have been a great fit there. And see what he can do with the ball, play and let Curry play off ball. But that's a lot of shots between 2 players. And obviously, Ant Edwards was number 1 in that draft. We did not get a chance to get him. But if we had a chance to get him, that would have been crazy. Number 2, we got Wiseman. So now the question is, draft day, people are coming back. What are we going to do? Klay hurts his ACL. His Achilles. Boom. Popped his Achilles. Out for the season. Brutal. Wiggins is coming into the team as well. And you got Wiseman. So, is this a rebuilding year or is this a winning year? That's where they get Kelly Oubre to try to replace Klay. Replace Klay. Let's go for it still in this year and try to win it all by having a replacement. What happened? Again, I kind of already summed this all up. Klay hurts the Achilles. But we got Oubre, plan B. Trying to replace a 5-time All-Star, elite shooter, a defensive player. But it didn't work. And who wanted Oubre? Joe Lacob, according to league sources, was a loud driving force, according to them, to get Oubre. So much so that it didn't matter that it would double Golden State's luxury tax bill, which we're still trying to deal with today, which is why we're hard capped, because we don't want to keep paying those penalties. Yes, we ended up winning a championship, but you're paying a lot of money to make that happen. $80 million in salary and luxury tax issues. So your core then was Steph. Then you bring in Oubre. Of course, you got Draymond. And then you got Wiseman at big. Wiggins at your wing position. And of course, Oubre right there is trying to replace Klay Thompson. It did not work. So what's the learnings there? Joe Lacob used his power over then GM Bob Myers to get Oubre coming in. The Oubre trade was made November 22nd, 2020, with Golden State giving OKC multiple draft picks, which ended up being second rounders. What followed was a season under the stress. Wiseman was never the player that we thought he would be. Steve Kerr regretted making him the starter. He just wasn't ready. Again, in college, he played like 4 or 5 games, and he was suspended the rest of the year. Oubre was inconsistent. Team was inconsistent. Warriors went 33-33 before closing the season on a 6-game winning streak. While Oubre was out, what'd they do? They made the play-in against the Lakers, first time there was ever a play-in, and crashed out. So the 8 years since Durant departed, the Oubre deal is the only individual move made under the theory that alone would be enough to keep the Warriors among the contenders. Every move since then, including the addition of Chris Paul, was made to supplement the roster rather than expand its core. So Oubre was supposed to be a core. You got Oubre, Klay, Oubre is replacing Klay. So you got Oubre, Curry as your 1-2, and then Wiseman as your big man in the paint. Did not work. Of course, you got Wiggins as well helping on the wing. So now you look at Brandon Ingram. You look at Zach LaVine. You look at trying to get Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, stars. Are they moving the needle positively or negatively? Ingram, in his case, they actually don't think he will be a positive addition to this team. It'll be more of a negative, which is why the reports are saying they don't want him. What about Lowry Markkanen? Again, I already mentioned George. Players like Draymond Green, Curry, were they in the whip? Sounds like they may have been, but instead, the Warriors went to supplement the current core they have. And you got Melton, you got Hield, you got Anderson. Better all-around players fit this team. You traded for Lindy Waters III from OKC. Build through the draft, and you got Quinten Post, who again is unsigned. And you got the Rook, who's on that 2-way contract, Reese Beekman. So the question is, will the Warriors make a sexy move? Go get a star. I think it's going to matter at the trade deadline. Warriors want to make a move. We've seen that they've been in these conversations, but they're not going to supplement and sacrifice the future for the now. They really like the core of Kuminga, Moody to a degree, Brandin Podziemski, Trayce Jackson-Davis. So you build that up with what you have, but if you can get someone who you think will be putting you in the finals, if you put them next to Curry and Draymond, then you do it. If you don't, then you know what? You don't go ahead and do that. So that's why you see the Warriors doing deals like this with Bertans. You see deals like this with Troy Brown Jr., bringing in vets. They're trying to well-round this team. But trade deadline, there's someone out there. Expect them to go big fish hunting if they see the path to the finals. If not, you hold back and you see what happens. Do you like this philosophy? Warriors fans, let me know. And of course, subscribe to Warriors Digest. We'll keep you updated on all the Warriors news.